Hey everybody, Crypto Mentor 99. How you doing? So, it is the evening of February the 14th, Valentine's Day. Yes, I took Mrs. Crypto Mentor 99 out for lunch, and we've been together on a little road trip the past 2 days. So she's been well taken care of. I love her. She's my best buddy, best friend. We have a wedding anniversary this year, 40. We'll be married 40 years. Yikes. Seems like 4 days. Not really. Let's get into the video. So, I've been thinking about decision making. And how I've, over the decades, how I've reached and made certain financial decisions. You with me? And I can remember as a little boy, I used to build model airplanes. And I mean, I was probably like kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, like a little boy. And I can remember, not exactly, but I remember going to the store with my friend and I bought a little model airplane for 50 cents, 0.50, 50 cents. And that was a really hard financial decision for me to make because I had never bought a model airplane before. That was my first one. I know I sound like an old guy, but stick with me, please. So, like, man, 50 cents, that's a lot for a little guy like me. But I went ahead, paid my 2 quarters, went home, put the model together. My mom and they were like, hey, way to go. And hey, if you do more chores and jobs around the house, you'll get your allowance. And so I don't remember exactly, but say a week or 2 later, I had enough to go buy another model. Well, this one was 75 cents. I wanted to get a bigger one. I'm like, man, well, I know what a 50-cent decision was. Now I got to bump it up to another quarter to 75 cents. I didn't know if I wanted to spend 75 cents because I was used to making 50-cent decisions, right? So long story short, I bought the 75-cent one. Maybe a short time later, saved up more money. But I remember buying a model for a little over $1, like $1.15 or $1.20, and I'm like, that's a lot of money for a little guy like me. I started at 50 cents, grew to 75. Now I was over $1, but it felt good because I had made some of the smaller decisions, and I was a big guy now. I was ready to make that dollar decision. So what's my point? My point is, with crypto trading or however you take your crypto profits, you need to start small and work your way up. Let me say that another way. I remember the first time I bought a pair of shoes. I don't know what year it was, but I remember when I bought a pair of shoes that were over $100. And I'm like, man, I've never spent $100 on a pair of shoes before. But I did, and I lived to tell about it, and it wasn't that big of a deal, but I was just like, wow, I've had the money, but I've never spent that much for a pair of shoes. Stick with me, okay? So then when I started to buy cars, I was making $10,000 decisions. You see where this is leading with your crypto profits? So I remember the first car that I bought. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, it was a lot of money. But again, I started with the 50-cent decisions and graduated to 75, then $1, then $100. Now I'm making $10,000 decisions, or decisions greater than when I was smaller. And I remember the first house. I remember my profits from the first house that we ever bought and it was $108,000. And I remember going to the closing or the title company, and they gave me a check for $108,000. This little guy could not believe that I had that much equity in that little house, but I did, right? So I've made a few house decisions over the years. I don't know how many houses we've had. 5 or 6 maybe? 5. So I'm used to, not regularly, but I'm used to making decisions that have 6 figures in it, right? And there's some financial decisions that I've made that were the same as my house profits. So what's my point? My point is, if you've never made small financial decisions, you trying to sell your Bitcoin or Ethereum for $20,000 is going to be totally out of your comfort zone. Would you agree? Right? And on the flip side, if someone's used to making multiple $100,000 decisions, to sell $50,000 of a crypto for a profit would not be that difficult. Would you agree with that? So if you haven't made smaller financial decisions or smaller financial investments, I would say, even though I'm a hodler, and I'm not just talking about cryptos here, but the more you buy and sell in greater increments, when this next, not the next market, in the next year, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, as Bitcoin goes to wherever it's going to go, you're going to feel safe and comfortable making those financial decisions that you've never made before. So I would submit to you, if you could make a few, $30 profits just to do it, whether it's on Coinbase or wherever, or $100 profit, that's a decision that you have experience in, or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. You get my point? I think people are going to be having huge gains, but if you're not familiar with those types of financial decisions, you're going to freeze and you might not know what to do. And this little guy does not want that happening to you. That's why I'm making this video. So this is not financial advice. This channel is about your education and entertainment. But my heart is, I want you, oh, isn't that nice on Valentine's Day? My heart is to see you succeed. But if you've got, say, $1,000 in the cryptos and you've never bought a $100 pair of shoes before, when your 1,000 becomes 10,000 and maybe it's time for you to sell, and you don't have that experience, it's going to be a little bit harder, or maybe a lot harder for you. And it's okay. We all have different levels of experience. We all have different levels of life experience. We all have different levels of whatever experience that you have. So for those of you that have only made small financial decisions, you've got to set some hard numbers on where you want to sell part or all of your crypto portfolio. That would be my unofficial, official advice to you. And for those of you that have made 6-figure decisions or more, when the market goes up again, which we know it's going to, your crypto decisions are going to be a little bit easier than the person, irregardless of age, who has less experience than you. I think you get the point. Anyhow, Crypto Mentor 99 had a good road trip with my best friend, Mrs. Crypto Mentor 99, and I did a video the other day. It was cold outside. Oh wait, no, that wasn't the video. Oh yes, it was. Yeah, definitely cold outside. I'll put it in the link below. Is it too late to buy cryptos? Anyhow, Crypto Mentor 99. You know I love you. Have a great weekend and happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye.